Wait, what is the OP named?
The current one?
The one that we at the
Fiesta.
end. Okay.
We've gone from Fiesta to Rock City Boy.
was another-
Boy.
Sorry, I had to like confirm that because you either said Fiesta or Siesta.
No, Fiesta.
Well, there was another
Yeah,
OP.
yeah.
There was another OP actually.
At the end?
No. Hold on one
So
second.
I hope you all know Seki just cold opened us.
I did.
Oh,
But
okay.
also,
That might have been during your selection of watching.
No, because I definitely watched it. Okay. No, there was another one as well.
No,
there was
no, he's
evidence.
right. It's
There was
evidence.
evidence. Evidence was the
yeah.
one, not Fiesta.
So we didn't hear Fiesta. We heard Evidence.
Yeah.
Seven. So opening 7 must have been Evidence, and then 8 is Rock City Boy.
Yeah.
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 Rock City Boy. Rock City
So
Boy.
we're already recording, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I actually preferred Evidence to Rock City Boy.
I like the first one more than I like the second one.
I actually like Rock City Boy more.
I like Rock City Boy more.
All right, cool. So
I'm
we're divided.
sorry.
We're split on this one, but that's okay.
Okay. So, hi, welcome back to the Anime Club. We're doing Fairy Tail, the Edolas arc, right? And then I had suggested that the boys could maybe do so. This is the first example of us skipping a entire arc, right? And I had us completely skip the Daphne arc, pretty much, which goes from episodes 69 to 75, right? With the exception that I asked that if they have time, they could watch 73, 74, and 75, or even just one of those, right? Because they are kind of like, they're filler episodes, but they're introing up to Edolas. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of post the proper ending of the Daphne arc. And the Daphne arc is an anime-exclusive storyline. And I just completely skipped it because I didn't think it was necessary. And honestly, it's not enough episodes for me to be able to split up the 2 submissions in a good way together and then still make a decent amount of progress because it's not a very long arc. So I just skipped it.
Yeah, honestly, I'm glad you allowed that, and also I'm glad I skipped it because this submission was already 19 episodes without the Daphne arc included.
Yeah, so what I will do really quickly is I am going to recap 73, 74, and 75, just for the 2 of you who didn't watch them. So, episode 73 is called Rainbow Sakura. It's Lucy Heartfilia. She's going to a Hanami festival, and that's pretty much the whole thing. There's this rainbow sakura tree that's blooming, and she wants to go to the festival and experience it, but she was on a job and she misses the party, so she's just trying to make it back to be able to see the tree. It's just a kind of cute, feel-good episode. It's after, like, 4 episodes of, like, Daphne filler, so, you know. So that's what happened in 73. 74 was Wendy's first big mission. And it's just one episode about Wendy's kind of first job on her own with the Fairy Tail Guild. And we met Wendy at the end, like throughout Horacion 6.
Yeah,
but
she face planted and I love it.
Yeah, but she became a member of the guild right at the end of Horacion 6. So this is just like her first episode with the guild. It's not super important, but it's just kind of, it's there, it exists, and it was cute.
And the reason she joined Fairy Tail was because her guild got destroyed, right?
Yeah. Her guild got destroyed.
Well, not destroyed, more just
revealed to have never existed in the first place.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
I see.
And then episode 75, which is the one I really wanted you guys to watch. I should have just included it in the submission. But this is the 24-hour endurance road race. It's basically a Mario Kart episode.
Oh boy.
Everyone in the guild is racing to avoid the punishment. The punishment is deemed to be that the losers have to wear maid outfits and parade around.
I see.
And it's very fucking funny. Like, the dude from Sorcerer Magazine comes to commentate on it. It's apparently a yearly thing that the guild does. It's this big event, a little bit like the celebration
Good, we'll
of Fairy
catch it in the
Tail.
next canonical year.
It does not happen again. I will say, this is the image we want to keep in mind.
Oh, yeah.
This is Makarov thinking about the losers.
I don't like that.
All right, I need to see this.
Yes. Yes.
I think it's hilarious. Essentially what happens is that Natsu trips, causing everyone else behind him who's in the lead to trip, and then Happy runs across the finish line with Wendy and Carla and the rest of Fairy Tail. And then Jet, Natsu, Gajiel, and Gray cross the line together as tied for last place.
Wonderful. So they all lose.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was just a funny... I should have included that one, but I didn't think about it. So...
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
But then we move into the Edolas arc, which is episodes 76 to 95. And this is one of the major story arcs for the series. So we've talked about it before. This is an A1 Pictures anime. I don't feel the need to recite a bunch of shit that they've done. They've literally done a ton of shit. And Fairy Tail is honestly one of their landmark series.
I mean, if you want to talk about the production, I'd be happy to complain about the graduation song being used again, but I know you don't want to talk about it.
Shut the fuck up, first of all. We're not talking about that. So, and then we've discussed the fact there are two openings here.
Yep.
Presence and Rock City Boy.
Was it Evidence?
No,
Evidence.
Evidence.
Fucking adjectives. Evidence and Rock City Boy. Evidence taking over from Fiesta. Fiesta was the opening before that. I personally liked Rock City Boy better. So did Knick Knack. The other two liked Evidence better. But, you know, you do you. To each their own. So, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like we don't really... This is another one of those things like One Piece where, like, talking about the animation quality isn't necessarily the most conductive thing because this is a constantly releasing thing.
Yeah.
So it does gradually go up in quality. Like, if you compared, like, the last couple episodes of Edolas to, like, the first couple episodes of the series, there would be a noticeable spike in quality.
yeah.
Maybe, but this was all part of the same production. Because Fairy Tail actually does have production seasons. They're just not traditional core seasons. Right?
No, it's continuous throughout the year.
Was it continuous?
The
I thought
way
it took
that
breaks.
no. So the way that the first Fairy Tail came out, right? Because Fairy Tail came out to a certain amount of episodes, right? And it came out continuously over the year, not in production season. And then they took a hiatus for a little while, right? Waiting for the manga to get back ahead. And then another chunk came out, right?
Oh, that's what I mean, though.
Yeah.
But like, if you're going to see a huge jump, that's when you'll see it, is between those hiatuses.
No, you can notice it if you were to compare like this episode to like the first episode, because you have to think like basically this was continuously releasing from 2009 to 2015 pretty much.
Yeah.
2016, right? Their first big stop was in 2016 when they stopped for 2 years. But between that, they're pretty much just continuously releasing.
Right.
Yeah. And they don't really take a whole lot of breaks between stuff coming out. So it's not they're not producing this like cores. This is more like kind of a Naruto release schedule or a One Piece release schedule.
Yeah.
And with that being said, if you were to compare episode 1 to episode 96 or 95, significant quality improvements have been made.
Oh, definitely.
It's hard to remember sometimes when you're watching something gradually, but they have been made.
Yeah.
The animation has already improved significantly.
I definitely noticed it, like, going into this. Oh, wow, this is a lot better than when I last watched it.
Oh, yeah, because you last watched it, like, 20
His
episodes
last arc
ago.
was probably Tower of Heaven.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he didn't
Or
watch...
Battle of Fairy Tail.
Yeah, Tower of Heaven or Battle of Fairy Tail.
Yeah, something along those lines. But the anime, like, I can notice, like, the black lines on the characters a lot sharper than they were last time. I noticed that right away. Also, just the way that characters animate while they're on screen is a lot smoother, I notice. That was kind of the biggest jump in quality that I noticed going from when I last watched to now.
Yeah. Yeah, so... You know, changes have been made, but once again, it's one of those things where, like, sometimes you might not necessarily notice if you're watching it all at the same time. You can definitely notice the jump in quality between Fairy Tail and Fairy Tail the final season, right? Because they've got a 2-year gap, and then it's, like, the final season with a bunch, like much more sophisticated work, but yeah. So I don't necessarily think it's required of us to really discuss the animation, per se.
Although we just did.
We did.
We did anyways. We still devoted a segment to it.
Yeah.
So moving on then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about OP, right?
Yes.
And to be fair, Evidence is kind of the OP for the Daphne arc, basically.
Yeah.
And then Rock City Boy is the OP for the Edolas arc.
I mean, just based on what I noticed,
They don't stop the OPs at like like when the arcs do.
Yeah, exactly.
They just have them play for like a certain amount of episodes and then they move on. But Rock City Boy is technically the OP for the Edolas arc.
Yes, because that one is. But like it's so the way I see it is Evidence is the before everyone gets transported to Edolas arc, and then Rock City Boy is when they're actually in evidence or in
Rock City Boy kind of kicks in once you get once
no,
there's a huge
you still have to
turning
get a
point in the
little
series too.
you still have to get a little ways into it.
Yeah, okay, but I think I need you all to remember the way that they do some of the OPs with this shit is remember the Orican Sace OP started back in Tower of Heaven. And then the fucking they always the OPs do not match the start and end episodes of the arcs that they go with.
No, I get
actively.
No, I get that, but I'm just saying the way they match, because obviously, I could tell, even though the Edolas arc is gonna close out here, at the end of this, I can tell that Rock City Boy is still gonna be the OP for a little while, even after this. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah.
But I'm just saying that, in my opinion, that's how the OPs best mesh.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, but so I guess now it's just left for us to get into the actual arc itself.
Give our rating.
Forgot about ratings.
And ratings.
Fuck. Oh no.
Yeah.
The part that's most integral for me.
Yeah. So
Hang on. I'll pull up the fucking page so I can write them down.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Okay, who you want to go first?
Your series, you go ahead and...
Knick-knack, you go first.
I hated it. No. I actually really like this one. For me, especially the early parts had almost an Avatar: The Last Airbender quality to them, where it felt like we were really fleshing out Edolas as a world and sort of its how its people live. Yeah. It felt a lot more like an actual story, for lack of a better term, than Fairy Tail tends to have.
Yeah,
it didn't just feel like an excuse for fights.
No, it's very centered with a theme and a story.
Yes.
And I really appreciate, I didn't expect to appreciate the world building here as much. I thought the magic system was, the differences between them were interesting. I loved some of the ways they set up how powerful some of these characters can be in this world. Mm-hmm. I'm sure I'll get into it a little bit later, but yeah. No, I really like this. There was one thing where I'm a little bit and I don't. Oddly enough, it's very much related to why Seki thought I might like this arc.
I see. So you give it an approved?
Oh, yeah, it's an absolute approved here.
All
Probably
right.
the best arc of Fairy Tail so far for me.
Vorn.
I loved this arc, and it's for the exact same reason as Knick-knack. This very much did feel like an actual story in itself, rather than a lot of the other, shonen stuff that we watch, where it's not really a story.
It's battle royales.
Yeah, and we got so much of the backstory right there, and I just loved it. However, I think this is the peak, and you ain't gonna get any better.
You say that, but I have Grand Magic Games in my back pocket.
I think I'm going to hate that thing.
You know what? Actually, I think Vorn might hate Grand Magic Games. If this is my peak, I will take it for now.
All right. So approved for you?
Yep.
Okay. This one, I loved it. I didn't love it for the same reasons as these two did. I loved it because it felt like it was the most emotional of the arcs, where there was a lot at stake for all of the main characters.
Oh, this actually got me crying a couple times.
Yeah, I know. I damn near teared up for some of these arcs. I didn't shed a full tear, but I definitely teared up at some of the very key pivotal moments.
I cried for Gajiel. He really needed a cat.
Yes. Yes, he really does. That boy did need a cat, and you know what? He got his cat. But yes, this is definitely an approved arc for me. I do have some, I guess they're kind of problems, but they're not really problems in and of themselves. I don't like the ADHD tendency that this show has to bounce between serious moments and just drop-dead humor. I really don't like the way that they handled it in this arc. But that being said, it just felt like I was watching a kid's cartoon. I would absolutely say that this is great for anyone between the ages of 10 and 14. But for anyone who is used to more serious action and not just drop dead, stupid kind of ADHD pandering humor. I don't like this aspect of the show.
And remember, don't sit too close to the TV, and make sure to turn the lights on in the room when you're watching.
Thanks, Seki.
They didn't have that this time around.
I know. It's there for like
Oh
most
my god, I forgot about that until just like that was a PTSD flashback you just induced in me.
I'm sorry, but I brought it up because I am making I do think it's interesting because the first like section of Fairy Tale is definitely kind of canted to be a little closer to childish than a lot of other contemporary shonen, right? Because when you think of things like Naruto and One Piece, they're a little bit more serious than this. They really are. This does have more of a kind of children's lean to it. It's closer to children. Like, it has a lower, I think, age range goal, and that's why that thing is on at the beginning of, like, the first part of the series. Right? I think Edolas is where it starts to age up slightly, but it's still trying to make that transition between being a little bit more childish of a shonen, and then moving kind of like up in age group with its viewers.
Because I noticed it was repeating like a lot of the same emotional themes throughout the series, trying to teach, like, you could tell, like, you know, this is trying to teach kids, like, hey, you know, the people you meet, they're very important to you. That's really what matters, kind of type messaging.
It's a simple theme.
It's a simple theme, but you know,
not a bad one.
Not a bad one by any means, but the author is obviously trying to hit the nail on the head for these younger kids, like, hey, you know, this is really important. You should consider this. And making it abundantly clear. Like, we go through this through all the different, like, main characters and everything. And it's repeated ad nauseum. And I didn't dislike it. Like, this aspect I didn't dislike. I just didn't like it.
Edolas is transitioning with more emotion and more feeling and kind of more of a story right to it. And so sometimes the comedy can be a little abrupt and jarring.
Yes.
When it's put in place.
So, because I liked that this was a very emotional arc, like the characters had these kind of discussions, like especially that Urza v Urza. I think Urza v Urza was my favorite one, because there wasn't any deadpan, like, just stupid humor in that fight. It was just the two of them going at it, no nonsense, no bullshit. So I really liked that fight the most. Also, Urza v Urza. Yes, please.
Because for me, obviously this isn't approved. The celebration I just had from the other side of the monitor when I realized that I have the first A tier of the season.
You're not getting best of season, though. I can already tell you that.
And I finally got everyone to...
Hang on. She can if she gives meds to everything else that comes from us.
That's true. Don't test me. Don't test me. I have the power now.
I see.
But when I first watched Fairy Tail, right, I was a lot younger. I was in high school when I first watched Fairy Tail. And I've spoken about this on the channel before and to Nick Knack, I really disliked this arc. Like, I hated it. I did not like watching it. I did not enjoy it. I hated Lisanna. And I remember that ever since then, every time I go to rewatch the series, I will just skip Edolas. So this is the first time I've watched it since like 2015, right? So for me, this is also basically fresh in my mind. Like, I've read it more recently than I've watched it. And there are some differences. And one of the reasons why I think I hated it so much in high school was that I thought some of the jokes that they made and kept repeating were just really not that funny, you know? Like Gray piling on clothes, or Natsu being a fucking coward. And I think, like, the repetition of that got to me when I was watching it originally.
Like, the theming didn't really stick with you. It was the annoying repetitive jokes.
Exactly, because that's all that I really remember, like, clearly from the first time that I watched it, was how annoying some of the counterpart characters were on their own, right? And so, for me, watching it again, because a lot of people agree that Edolas is one of the best arcs in Fairy Tail, if not the best arc in Fairy Tail. Like, there's very few other arcs that compete with it, right, in terms of sheer, like, quality. And for the longest time, I just did not agree. And this isn't necessarily my favorite arc still. I have other arcs I like more, for sure, but I definitely like this more than some of, like, the random fillers or, like, other kind of fodder in my opinion, arcs. Like, I have a much better appreciation for this now that I've watched it again in its entirety. I think I was really just not giving it a chance.
Yeah. It was more so the humor, for me, like, honestly, like, I can understand that, because, like, honestly, if I didn't have to watch this as well, I might have, like, just skipped most of these humorous segments.
Oh, they're making a joke skip.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fast forward.
So, because, like, that's the real problem I have with this arc, is that they just don't, or that, I don't know if this was, like, a problem with, like, the author, I don't know, like, since you read the manga to this point, can you say, like, did they have, like, same kind of these deadpan jokes?
Well, I mean, the jokes are still there in the manga, but obviously they're less repetitive in the manga.
Right, and you can kind of, and if you see them in the manga, you can kind of skip them faster if you don't like them.
Yeah, you're not sat there watching like a 5-second clip of Gray putting clothes back
oh, they're
on.
making a bit in this panel. Let me
It's
just
a
skip
single
this
panel.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've read all of Fairy Tail. I am currently caught up on Fairy Tail and its sequel series.
Yeah, the 100 Years Quest.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And Eden Zero, for that matter.
Oh, okay.
I've also read Rave Master.
Yeah.
So I do really like Hiro Mashima's work.
Yeah.
And I do personally think that a Fairy Tail is better as a book.
Yeah.
I think that there is a bit of kind of more of a lean towards childlike jokes in the anime, but I don't really consider it a problem. I still love it.
Yeah.
I really do still love it.
Also, wow!
Wow!
Hold on. Knick-knack. Happiness hatred meter. Go.
What?
How much do you hate Happy in this section?
I actually really liked Happy here.
I
Yeah.
thought so. Yes.
Oh yeah, because Happy's getting a shit ton of character
Happy
development.
got so much context to who he is and why he is the way he is.
Like-
And I really liked that they fleshed out Happy.
Dead ass Happy and the other
And Charlotte.
Charlotte.
Yeah.
Charlotte.
Yeah, Happy and Charlotte genuinely might be my favorite characters in this arc.
Yeah.
I love Panther Lily.
Yeah. Oh my god, fucking Panther Lily. Gajeel finally got his dream. He got his cat.
It was so sad.
Unfortunately, he didn't get to stay a buff cat, but you know what? He's cute the way he is.
Fun fact, that is an alternate form for him still.
Oh, yes.
You know how like Happy can grow wings?
Yes.
Panther Lily can go buff.
Ooh, that's cool.
But yeah, like the big plot twist about Happy and Charlotte when they think they're storming in for the final battle, that actually got, like, that was the thing that got me. Like, I was like, oh shit, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. So, but also, one thing about the Exceeds is, like, the whole arc and everything, like, where Charlotte is, like, resentful to the queen and everything about, like, why, because of her whole, like, future seeing ability and everything. The whole web of lies thing, just, like, wow. I really, that's so well constructed, but, like, also, because my Occam's razor approach to everything, I'm just like, man, you could have made this a lot simpler. But that's just like a minor nitpick. That's not even really anything that serious. It's just like, that's a whole ass conspiracy theory right there. But oh well.
It's the best part.
Yeah.
Hashtag Fairy Tale conspiracy theories.
Yes, exactly.
2023.
2023 live reaction.
So, obviously Edolas is a very kind of contained story arc, right? So it is all about this other place called Edolas. That's the titular name of the arc, is the name of this other place that is essentially exists above Earthland and is somewhat connected. And every character has like an opposite counterpart. Which is actually kind of funny, like the first time each joke is made.
Yeah.
You know? Like Anti-Stripper Gray was very funny the
I
first
actually
time.
found
Right.
that amusing the first time.
Yeah. We love Anti-Stripper Gray.
Also, how Juvia was not obsessed with Gray at all.
Yeah. Hashtag healthy relationships. Also, Juvia, best girl in
Okay,
any
but
world.
Still not the case, because Gray is obsessed with Juvia.
Yeah.
Okay. But Juvia is still best girl.
Yes, Juvia is still best girl.
Juvia is best girl.
Yeah.
So we brought up earlier that there wasn't many complex, like any really deep themes here. I don't know that they went into it too much. I don't know if they went into it as much as they could have, But there was a climate change parallel being made here with magic.
Yeah.
That's kind of the core of the
Yeah.
story here, too.
Yeah, is that the Edolas is facing like a loss of magic,
Right.
like
And it was due to the destruction that humans caused.
yeah.
Yeah, like they were overusing magic.
And so they were going to try to harvest it from Earthland
Yeah.
because Earthland is still rich in magic.
Because the way
And
it works is it's different. It works different in Edolas to how it works in Earthland.
Yeah.
So.
But maybe not climate change exactly, but definitely the use of non-renewable resources.
The implication is there.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't say it's like a super like deep topic, and they probably didn't really want to like full on tackle it because this is ultimately still like mostly for kids. But he probably wanted to put like some kind of subtext in there.
Although I
Yeah.
think that's more of like just our tendency now.
Yeah.
It might have been more.
This
of
is a little
something
bit
different.
older. In the...
Well, I mean, 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I guess it just depends.
Tohoku.
When do you know when this
Tohoku.
arc in the manga?
The earthquakes in 2011, 2012.
Ah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So there might have been
Might
a
have been,
parallel about
actually.
something like that.
Yeah.
What?
I was gonna ask when did this arc came out in the manga, like 2011.
A little earlier.
Okay, like 2009 maybe.
Maybe. Let me take a look.
Yeah.
Then that might have been like Fight for Resources. Yeah, no.
Yeah. I mean, this came out in 2008. This could have been like during like the Iraq War, somewhere around there. I know this didn't really affect Japan.
Actually, 2010, 2011.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
2010.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking, and the last volume published in 2009 goes to the end of Clash of Cardia Cathedral.
Ah. Okay.
So definitely 2010.
Okay.
I think there is something there though. Like I don't think
Yeah.
it's necessarily even shallow. I think there's something there if I really took the time, like rewatched the arc, really went at it with notes. I feel like there, like especially the way the arc actually ends, where they do lose access to all magic at the end.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there's something there that you could really dig your teeth into.
Right.
Yeah. So moving slightly away from the overall arc and stuff, we meet a couple new characters. So Gildarts Clive.
Yep.
Loved him. Coolest man ever.
So I love Gildarts, and he's
Yeah.
he's recently back from failing the 100 Years quest.
He reminds me a lot of Shanks from One Piece.
He does. He and Natsu have a very Shanks and
Luffy. Yeah.
esque storyline,
Yeah.
which is also paralleled by Jiraiya and Naruto. So it's very much this like slightly absentee older father figure,
Yeah.
right? With the younger kind of the male character who obviously looks up to them. But it's very cute to see them interacting. And I love Gildarts. I think he's a very funny character. He's very amusing.
Right.
I think his connection to Kana is even funnier.
The fact that he just straight up deadass walks through the wall in the Fairy Tale Guild.
Because of his fucking magic.
Yeah.
They have
I
to,
made a
like,
comment to Seki when I was watching this that hilariously, Fairy Tale. Well, yes, it's nice to have an S-class adventure.
Yeah.
Off doing probably some very high money missions. They might be saving some more money by keeping him around since he can, deconstruct and reconstruct things. That reconstruct part would be very helpful given all the collateral damage Fairy Tail inevitably probably has to pay for.
Right.
Yeah, but then they'd have to be like sending him out on jobs with other teams, and that would like split reward amounts, and it just
Yeah, and it's
They don't
probably
want to send him out
not.
with too many other teams. And just send him out with Luffy. Or not Luffy's team. Natsu's team. Because Natsu's team is
Is
the
the
one that's
most
destroying
destructive.
things.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it would be a waste of his talents.
It
and
would
there
be
are
a
S-class missions.
waste of his talents, and it's probably he would get less money for it than taking the quests that he can actually take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like and plus, Fairy Tail does not run on a system wherein the guild groups up mages by like best abilities or like best options. Like mages just choose whether they want to work alone or together, and they can switch up teams and work with other people. So this is more of like a freedom of choice thing. Gildarts likes doing S-class missions,
Yeah.
and that's what he does. That's
And he
his
does
thing.
he does them solo. So
Yeah.
that's his thing. But
Yeah. Also, this kind of gives like a little bit more context, is that back during the Battle of Fairy Tale and Clash of Cardia Cathedral, Loxus makes a couple comments, and so does Urza and Mystigan, about how Loxus and Mystigan are the most powerful people in the guild currently. Neither of them is more powerful than Gildarts.
Right.
Gildarts is currently canonically more powerful than anyone in the guild.
But since you brought him up, Mistogun.
Mistigan. So
Yeah.
now we get some context as to why he looks like Jalal.
Yep.
Because Mistigan is Edolas' Jalal.
Yep.
I sent you a meme of the Doctor Strange. The multiverse is
The multiverse is real.
Yep.
is it like we know frighteningly little about the multiverse.
Yep.
I do like Mistigan as a character. I think it's really interesting because Mistigan, we get him peppered throughout previous arcs. I mean, he shows up several times before this.
Yeah.
And so it means that we have all the more kind of attachment to him than we do to characters we've never met at all.
Right.
Especially when, we've been introduced to him as a member of Fairy Tail who will help them
Yeah.
when they need it. Like, he has shown up to help, and then this is all revealed about him.
Right.
You know?
He's actually from Edolas.
Mm-hmm.
We'll never see him again, will we?
Mystigan?
Yeah.
I can't quite remember.
Okay.
We may not.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Because obviously, since he destroyed the anima and everything in Edolas.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think it's a fitting end to his story,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
I don't think we see him again. That's what I'm gonna say.
Because obviously he becomes the king now of Edolas, the magicless Edolas. So.
Yeah. From his father, Faust.
Yep, Faust.
Yeah. But I want to say, I feel like I've seen, I swear to fucking God, I've seen a panel from, later on of him older.
I do like that and while they're...
Oh, that's why! Never mind! Never mind!
What?
Go on.
So-
oh my.
I'll go ahead and just let Seki play that off here. So I do like that while he and Urza don't have an explicit connection in Edolas, if you look at their character directions and compare them to the Jalal and Urza from the actual, from our normal fairy tale world in Tower of Heaven and Oracion Sace, their character directions parallel each other. I do like that.
It is interesting because you've got that strong connection between Mistigan and Jalal. I mean, she sees Mistigan's face and initially calls him Jalal. You know, which is really interesting. Also, Lucy gets Gemini, Scorpio, and Aries.
Yes.
Which is super great because she fought them in Oracion Sace when they belonged to Angel.
Right.
So she's getting these keys now, which means that she's got a lot more
I gotta
Zodiac
say,
keys.
I love the point where Lucy shows up and she's the only one with magic, and her magic, because magic is so much better in the proper fairy tale world compared to Edolas, where she's just actually OP. It's
Right.
hilarious to see her like that for once.
Right.
Well, because I think something that I think a lot of people forget to take into account, but Lucy was very obviously she is the weakest member of the team at the beginning of the story, right? But
Right.
keep in mind, she is keeping up with these monsters.
Right.
She might not seem that powerful, but she very much is. Her powers are improving in leaps and bounds, and she is able to do things that not a lot of other celestial mages in the world can do.
Right.
And I think sometimes her progress kind of pales in comparison to
Natsu,
who has these big flashy attacks that he performs, but her summoning so many keys to do so many different things and having all these contracts
and she
is really impressive.
And also because she talks about it in her thing, but it's very mana intensive.
Yeah.
For her to summon these spirits, we don't get a visual really for what that looks like to her. But I can imagine the best description I can give it is if you remember in Overlord where Ainz is just overflowing with magical power.
There is I think there was a diagram explanation in the first couple arcs of how Lucy's magic works, but basically she has to her magic fuels them, right? She's a gas tank, and so if she wants to hold more powerful spirits out, let them do more powerful attacks, and hold more spirits in general, she has to constantly be expanding her own magic reservoirs.
Right.
Right? So that other people can use them, which is impressive.
Yeah.
So I like seeing a badass Lucy.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
I'm here for that.
Speaking of badass Lucy, I like this world's version of Lucy. She just bullies the hell out of Natsu.
Yeah, that's pretty
Oh, yeah.
fucking funny.
Yeah.
We do love that. We love a good
Yeah.
thing like that.
Right.
The opposite character parallels were very amusing most of the time.
Yeah.
Lisanna.
Yes, Lisanna.
This is where there's a sore spot for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be honest. Lisanna is not the most important part of this arc.
No.
Very
No,
obviously.
no,
not.
not at all.
But Lisanna has been hinted to from like back during Phantom Lord, right? Like we've discussed her.
Yeah.
She's come up, and so now we're seeing her again.
Yeah.
It felt, her being alive this entire time felt very tacked on, even for character revivals or character sudden survival or surprise survivals. Because she was not a focus of this arc at all, and she was revealed to be alive at the end of it.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't think that's necessarily super bad.
I genuinely think it kind of is. Like, I don't... Okay, her being revived, fine, not... That loses something for me, but I can accept that if it's done well, but she's literally only appears, like... And there's a brief, like, little moment between her and
technically
Natsu
not
in the
revived.
guild. No, not revived.
She never died to begin with.
Fake out death.
Yeah.
Return.
Yeah.
Her return, like, they get a little brief moment with her and Natsu at the Edolas Fairy Tale Guild, but then she kind of more or less disappears throughout the rest of the arc. Like, she appears in, like, the big fairy tale fight scene with the Edolas Fairy Tale, but she's not a focus in the slightest. So her coming back now felt so tacked on to the arc, and it felt like it didn't do any justice to what they had actually built up with her beforehand.
Yeah, that was kind of the problem. Like they briefly like we have this moment with Natsu and like Happy where they see Lisanna and they get like overly joyed. Like you can tell this is a very emotional moment for them. But then they just suddenly drop this thing because it's assumed that she's actually Edolas' Lisanna. And they don't go further into that until the...
Sorry.
What the hell was that? I just got attacked by anime.
I just got attacked
What did you
by
do?
anime.
I accidentally opened something because I've been like just putting my phone on here. Ugh.
All right.
Scared me.
Alright, anime jump scare.
Yeah, really.
Alright, anyways.
I mean, I don't think Lisanna's arc was particularly important.
I don't think it... Well, I mean, it should be, in my opinion, because this is a sudden, like, reappearance of a character we assume to be dead.
Who is integral to the main character's backstory.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, it's not that it was important here. Like, obviously, it doesn't affect my opinion of this arc very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for how this character was built up in previous arcs and how the overall...
Like, the overall
story.
importance of her and her relationship to all the current guild members, like...
I think what might be more
Yeah.
interesting in her coming back is seeing how that changes some of the characters who are affected by her death going forward.
Yeah.
Like Mira Jane going forward, Elfman going forward, Natsu moving forward.
Right.
Knowing that this person who is integral in their lives is back.
Yeah.
Maybe, but
Because maybe it will have an effect on them.
I'll have to sit with you. Like, right now, I am beyond negative on how that was handled.
Yeah.
Like, and also just, like, even though, like, I get it, like, they built up to it, like, the reaction of Natsu and Happy, I didn't like how it turned almost comical, like, right afterwards. So, that was a bit of a sore spot for me. I'm interested to see, like, where they go with Lisanna's character in future episodes. But, yeah, I don't think that they handled this particular aspect very well.
Okay.
And I would have been fine if we didn't get any closure to it, but we're here. This is the story.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It feels like if they... What's her name? I don't want to spoil too much, but the backstory of Zoro in One Piece, it feels like if they
Quina.
reneged on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they reneged on that entire deal.
What do you mean you don't want to spoil anything?
Okay,
I mean,
fine.
that's like episode 3. It's Quina.
Zoro has a similar deal where a lot of his motivation and a lot of his backstory comes from an old friend that died suddenly. And to my knowledge, at least, they haven't reneged on that. She hasn't turned out to survive. She's never been revived. And that's done a lot, in my eyes, for Zoro's character. For me, it's a similar deal here. And this affects not just Natsu. It affects Happy. It affects...
Urza,
yeah.
Lisanna, Elfman.
Pretty much
Mira
the whole entire
Jane.
guild got like
Yeah.
just all of it pretty much.
I love Mira Jane.
Or no.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, no,
that's
I meant Mira Jane. I said Lisanna's name
I was
herself.
wondering,
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Mira Jane, so she's one of my favorites. But yeah. So I mean, and this is a bit of a long arc as well. I mean, I want to acknowledge that it is 19 episodes, so it is a bit of a chunk of episodes to ingest. I mean, I think I did the math on it. It's like 6.5 hours, so like close to 7 hours.
I think it was 8 actually.
I did the math, so
Okay.
you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I did
if
the
you're
math.
including the 3 I mean, are you including the 3 filler in that?
Even then, it wouldn't go up because it's about like 24 minutes an episode.
Yeah.
And I did the calculation based on 24-minute episodes. So
Okay.
it's about 6 to 7 hours long.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
7.5 at most.
Yeah.
But not
Okay.
8. But yeah, I don't know. I just I liked rewatching it. I think I liked being able to watch it again, almost like it was the first time, like with fresh eyes. I can't really do that with a lot of the other arcs in the show because I rewatch them so often. It's just such a good rewatch series,
Yeah.
but I do like it in this one. So, on to Waifu Wars.
Yes.
Mhm.
On to
Waifu Wars.
Waifu
Wars.
Waifu
Wars. Born.
Well, let's see. If I had to say overall,
Yeah, give me an overall and an arc.
oh god dang. Mystican,
Okay.
and that's mostly because we also finished the story, so this feels like absolutely the nicest thing.
Okay.
For the arc, Guild Arts. He's just too cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ro?
For this one, I'd say I'll do the same thing as Vorn. For my overall waifu, that's kind of a tough one. Mainly just because also I missed out on a whole set of episodes. But I'd probably, for my overall, I'd have to go with Lisanna.
Okay.
And then for this arc in particular, y'all are gonna laugh at me for this one probably. Panther Lily, yeah.
Nah, I
Yeah.
feel it. Knick-knack.
Yes.
Edolas Juvia, get you a girl that wants you to strip as much as you want her to.
Okay,
Nice.
and
What? Oh, no.
overall.
Overall, Juvia, get you a girl that gets you as wet as you get her.
Nice.
I think my arc waifu is Gajiel because he just really wants his cat, guys.
Yeah.
He just really wants a cat.
Mhm.
And then my overall for now is still Loxus because
Alright.
we have yet to meet a couple of the other characters I like more.
All right.
So Loxus for me.
All right.
Even though he's not really
He's not really all that
doesn't
present.
really fucking matter
Yeah.
here. That's why he's my overall.
He's not really present in this point.
Yeah. I'm gonna be real. We've done Fairy Tail so many times, and I really have no new recommendations. I don't know if you guys do.
Oh, I do. I said it earlier. Avatar: The Last Airbender. This, if you really like this arc, I think this arc has like the similar sort of travel fight pacing that Avatar tends to.
Okay.
And it's got a lot, and it actually, I mean, I didn't watch Avatar, but like I've recently seen a lot of videos of Avatar pop up in my feed recently, and that I've watched occasionally. But yeah, I'd say Avatar hits kind of the nail on the head for this one, The Last Airbender specifically, not Legend of Korra.
Yeah, not Legend of Korra. We don't talk about that.
Yeah. But like, especially like, I can't remember what his name was, but he was the grandfather for I don't know. He's the one who watches over not Aang, because Aang's the
Uncle
main character.
Iroh.
Oh,
Yeah, Uncle Iroh.
Uncle
There we go. Yeah. Like a lot. It reminds me a little bit of him. I don't know. Like in the way that he kind of acts. I don't know. I was thinking of him.
What reminds you of Iroh? Sorry,
oh.
but you didn't tell us what reminded you of Iroh.
It's mainly the mentor kind of like father figure aspect, but I guess
Oh, of Guildarts.
yeah, of Guildarts.
Okay, so you didn't start with Guildarts, so like
Yeah.
you just said it reminds me
was
of,
like,
and I
Fairy
was like,
Tail?
the whole arc?
No.
Okay,
No,
okay.
I see some parallels between Uncle Iroh and Guildarts in this case. So,
Okay, that's
like,
valid.
yeah.
Rome is part of the Zoomer generation.
Zoom,
All culture is absorbed through 5-minute movie clips online.
zoom, zoom,
Hey.
zoom, zoom.
Been doing that.
I'm sure you have been.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
I didn't think so. I think that this is just going to be a symptom of certain animes that we're repeating over and over again. We're not always going to have
I don't
new
think we've
recommendations.
talked about this anime, and if we need to come up with recommendations really now, like hurry.
But we're not always, because it's the same anime over and
Yeah.
over again. So we're not necessarily going to have new recommendations every single arc.
Yeah.
But it is reassuring that y'all are on board with this finally. Everyone all at once finally. Because
Stop
I
while
have
you're
been I have been one down every single time that this has come around.
Seki finally gets a W.
And I'm finally getting my W.
And this is your last one.
You never know. Maybe I'll get more.
Never know. The future arcs could be good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tenro's great. Grand Magic Games is great. Everything after Grand Magic Games I have less of an opinion on.
We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about post Grand Magic Games.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But yeah. So, I guess drum roll, please. Woo. So our next anime is one of Realm's.
Yes.
And Realm has chosen to go with a random pull.
Yes.
Since he'll have 3 regular submissions and the 2 random submissions. So I will draw on random for him. Okay. And it is going to be Monster Girl Doctor, episodes 1 to 12.
Yep. No idea about this show.
I've actually heard of this before.
Yeah.
So,
I can think of a couple Monster Girl Doctors. I don't know which one we're watching.
This
though.
is Monster Girl Doctor.
do we want to
That
pull
is
up
the
a
name.
trailer?
Yes, so we're going to pull up a trailer real quick and be back with you in a second.
Yeah.
So absolutely on brand with Realm.
Yes, sauce.
Actually,
Huh?
high five, Realm. I agree.
Yeah.
Also, I am absolutely grooving to the music choices for the background music in the trailer. Like, holy shit, that was nice.
Yeah.
It's got this, like, traditional, like, almost like Chinese folk instrument and kind of, like, adventuring, sort of, like, medieval town vibe going on.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah. So we'll see. I expect this to be somewhat similar to Monmusu, Monster Girl, or
Well, we've
yeah.
not seen that, though.
No, but
Most of us, so.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm that's kind
Yeah.
of what I'm expecting. Maybe a little bit different on the premise, obviously, but still gonna be kind of that harem ecchi genre is the best kind of way I can see this going.
Yeah, let's not pretend like we didn't just see in the trailer a girl getting her gills fingered.
And also, the snake girl
Don't-
shoving the end.
No.
We'll leave that up to your interpretation.
Yeah.
Yeah, go watch the trailer yourself if you want to know what they're talking about.
Yeah. With that being said, like, comment, subscribe.
Yes.
Yeah.